Yes, nice and decent people. I just hope and look forward to a lot of healing to take place after these last general elections. Because in my whole life in this country, I have never seen so much hatred, so much vitriol in a country, especially in a small country like the one that we have here right now. Sometimes when you talk to people from other countries and you tell them about the population of your place, people will be shocked to know that a country has so few people living in it. Population of this place is very small compared to other places in the world. And because of the small size, it is so important. It is of paramount importance that we come together to get things done in a very effective manner, to be very efficient in our productivity in the country because the population is already very small. And as the book of Proverbs say, to consider the ants. Have you not observed ants and how they behave? Ants. You will see the ants carrying big pieces of bread and other food items. And when you look at the size, the relative size compared to the size of the bread, I mean, it is just unbelievable to see such a small mass moving such a large mass of food. And so it is so important that we in this place, in this country, consider the ants because we have a very small population and we need to use some of the methodologies that we see that the ants employ in terms of moving things. Our population is very small. And so all the division, the vitriol that we see that have been spilled in this environment, there need to come a time when healing has to take place. We need to realize that the election thing is over and it is time now to move forward with our lives in terms of producing for ourselves, producing for our people, producing for the country on a whole. We have a system, a situation where a lot of the institutions that were used before in time past to propel our growth and development are being erased. The whole concepts of cooperative credit unions and um, the whole idea of coming together to get things done like the Kudme and the community spirit what we used to have before, we have lost those things. The idea of coming together to help each other achieve things are disappearing. And what we have is a group of people in the population who want to give people the impression that they are wealthy, they're rich, and they're well off. And the thing is, anybody who is smart, who is wise, who have a general understanding of what people make in their country, but then some people want to profile and push themselves like they are so wealthy compared to the other people, and they're deceiving themselves. It is important that we come together in solidarity and consider the ants. We need to consider the ants and do things together. It was very common before that when somebody was building a house, you would have had people come together, and the house that would have probably taken a long time to construct would have been done probably in 2 weekends. And this thing was causing people to save a lot of money. This whole community spirit was destroyed The whole idea of Kudme that was destroyed when people realized that some people were coming on their side to work. They were not doing much work. They looked like they were just coming for food and to drink, for alcohol, and they were not. And the people were realizing that they were spending all that money to cater for the help, and then at the end of the day, they were not getting anything substantial. So that was one of the reasons why this thing stopped. But we need to go back to the systems of doing, just working together to help each other. You understand? We have a situation here where we have a lot of young people. We are slowly losing a lot of young people through that COPD situation, that disease COPD. Are we losing a lot of young people? Those who are dead or close to dying, and those who are not able to work. There are those who cannot do any strenuous activity. There are some people after probably a few steps they have to stop to catch breath. And these people will never be functional in the society in terms of producing. And so there is work to do in the communities, you know what I'm saying? I used to go in the ghetto sometimes and talk to the guys about, the vices, like some of them will mix cigarette with the weed and all kind of things like that. And I was talking to them about the whole COPD, you know, the treatment of it, letting them understand that there is no cure for COPD. I was trying to break it down to them in a very simple way, in a very interesting way. And some of the people I find out believe that if you drinking a lot of water, or if you sweating a lot, you can't get COPD. And I don't know where them people getting that idea from, because there are a lot of people who are very productive, very physically. I know a guy who was a very, well built, very physical guy, and he died of COPD. We need to think more along our, in terms of health, having a more healthy population. I remember when I was small, it was just customary to see people walking, like you would be on the Larshu stretch walking, walking to Denny Riviera, walking to different places. Nowadays, we have a situation where you will see the people waiting for short trip, and sometimes they just go into Larshu's and they're waiting for short trip. At the end of the day, what do you think will happen to these people? Huh? What do you think will happen to these people who refuse to walk short distances? They just want to go from their home to a bus to go to their work and to come back and go and sit down, watch TV or eat and do nothing much. We have to think about our health. We have to think of preventative health. Because the treatment of disease is so expensive that it is of paramount importance that we think about along the lines of preventing these things in the first place. You understand? We have to think of preventing disease instead of trying to put ourselves at a disadvantage where we get some of those things. It is hard to treat or expensive to treat, and then you affect the quality of your life, your ability to generate income, and all of these things. If all of these people having these problems in the country, it affecting the growth of the country. We have to think along those lines. We have to think along the lines of our water quality. And even, nowadays we have potable water, we have good water to drink, but we still have people using the rivers. And it is very bad that even in 2025, you still have people throwing rubbish in the rivers. We still have people using these rivers, and even you would have known that even after a storm or hurricane, um, invariably we have to use water from the rivers. We have to take better care of our surface waters, take better care of the river water that we have. We have to take better care of our health. We have to eat better. It's almost like we have to eat as our form of as medicine. Your food is supposed to be your medicine, in other words. And the other thing we need to do, we need to try to avoid, especially for younger people, you see this whole thing of the violence. Violence is claiming a lot of lives. And not only that, there is a part of the violent nature of people that we do not understand, we do not see. When you get all of these gunshot things taking place, they will only talk about people who are dead, but what about the people who will be maimed? There are people who will not be able to walk for the rest of their lives as a result of these gunshot activities taking place in the country. There are people who will be needing medical treatment for the rest of their lives. There are people who will be in pain for the rest of their lives, that their pain has to be managed. There are people who will not be able to work for the rest of their lives as a result of these gunshot wounds that people are having. And so we need to really think of all of those things in the country. And the proliferation of guns. How does that help us as a people? It is looking as if people have they have lost the ability to reason. And I know that there are certain things that people will do in the society that will get you very angry. But it should not be an automatic response, that if somebody does certain things, that the most logical thing that can come to your head is to take a gun and shoot them. So there's a lot of division, a lot of qualms, a lot of things that we as a people need to look into. And there's a religious branch, the church people. There's a void that they're supposed to be filling in terms of dealing with the situation that we have with crime and other things. But it looked like they have other priorities. When things get too much out of hand, then you'll see them coming and play like they want to come and protest match. When the damages have been done, they come in and protest match. To me, if you see in churches coming in protest match after the damage is done, these people are not in communication with God. These people are not connected to God. Because the thing is, God, if you're so much connected with God, God is going to show you what is going on in the land so that you can intercede on behalf of the people. But if it is when everybody starts shooting people and the situation get so out of order, and then the government have to call for peace and all of that, and that's when you want to come and play like, you want to come and protest, that shows me that you're not connected to God. So people, let me tell you something. We need to put all of this division aside. This political division where you all feel like you're supposed to be hating people that have voted for your party, and that if they support you, they ain't supposed to eat. And this whole division about if somebody step on your toes, you're supposed to be able to shoot them and all kind of thing like that. Like these wars that are going on in the country, that we wonder where that war started and where it's going, but there's a war going on in this country. But we need to put away these divisions and we need to build up the country. But most importantly, we need to build up the human resources that we have. We need to build people up. We have too many young men who are just, they behave as if that is their culture, to wake up in the morning and smoke. and they have no program to follow. We have so much of our farmlands abandoned, being run over by snakes, poisonous snakes, and you have young, able-bodied people, and they're behaving like their job is to wake up in the morning, smoke marijuana, and just waste time. So as a people, we have a lot to do. We have a lot to do. And sometimes the people who have the ideas as to what to do to help our people, they do not get funding to do it, because you do not really have the capacity to do those things by yourself. But fellows who actually do not have any love for the people, they are the ones who benefit from the government funding to do nothing. But people, we have work to do. We have a lot of things to do. We need to be exercising. We need to be eating properly, drinking clean waters. We need to be considering preventative medicine. Do things to prevent or to protect yourself from getting sick. These are some of the things that we need to focus on. And we need to produce more in the country. We demand a lot of services, but we do not want to produce to pay for the services. So let's do our best. We have a new year coming in front of us, and there is much work that we have to do. Let's do our best. Let's do our best. And above all, we need to give thanks and praise to the Creator of heaven and earth, who has given us strength to go through another year. Keep the fire burning, people.